Brandon Earl Ebron, my first heartbeat. He was always quiet, in a thinking mode. His dad would often ask me, I wonder what he's thinking. We never had any trouble with Brandon. Before he was born, a lady prophesied to me and said that he would be a special child. So I received that, and I prayed that he would be successful in every endeavor. Brandon, you be blessed and don't settle for anything less. Love, Mom.
To put flowers on everybody's and clean their grave site off and everything. Even people we didn't even know. We had extra flowers. We put it in their little vase and stuff. I mean, all the time we used to come out here.
This is small world.
Hey, Mother. I love you, girl. Lord have mercy, I love you. I miss you so much. I miss you too, Nat. I love you. I love you, girl. Dang, man.
Yeah. Had some good times at Grandma's house. Good times at Grandma's house. But she ain't gonna take no mess.
You know, growing up, I used to always want to, like, hang around my older cousins, Shawan and Brandon. So a lot of the times when we was kids, we used to all spend the night over our Aunt Ann's house. She stayed on Granddad about Valentine where we really grew up at. So I just remember, like, just wanting to tag along. I thought it was cool, you feel what I'm saying? And then as we got older, it was like Shawan was, like, so much older than us that he tried, like, went his own way. But me and Brandon, like, we really, like, hung tight. So I remember, like, one time, like, it'd be, like, funny. We was living with our grandparents, me, Brandon, Courtney, and all of us was living there. And me and Brandon, we used to sneak out the house late at night trying to get up with girls. This back when phones had minutes on them. It was before all this unlimited time. So every time me and him come back in the house late night, we both trying to get to the phone first so we can talk to our girls. And then whoever gets to the phone first, we got to try to hang up so that the other person can get on the phone because we ain't had no beeps on the phone in the house. So I remember late nights, me and Brandon would be in the house, Grandma would be back there asleep. We were trying to sneak girls in the house. And I don't know how, but Grandma, she always seemed to know what was going on. Because we didn't got Jonelle and Donita in the house. And Grandma's in the back of the hallway, in the dark, talking about, what is y'all doing out there? And we like, man, trying to get in the room. And the girls all quiet. And Grandma in the back of the hallway like, I know something going on. What y'all doing out there? We trying to sneak the girls back out the house. But we was never successful. But me and Brandon always sit out there and trip. We always sit out there and trip and laugh about that stuff, man. But it was so many times that, like me and Brandon, like, we was together a lot out there, man. I mean, like, even that time living with our grandparents, like, I got us kicked out the house. And I mean, Brandon ain't never tripped. He was always the one that was cool, calm, collected, quiet. I mean, you ask him his opinion, he gonna tell you what he felt about it. And we always respected that about him.
I think Brandon was quiet because, you know, of different circumstances that was happening in his life as he was growing up. And Brandon, to me, kept a lot of stuff bottled up.
Always been mild-mannered, laid back. Brandon didn't get in any trouble. Just sit back and laugh. I would still cuss him, his cousins out, and he would laugh at me, but he was just you couldn't find a better young man that grew up into this grown man that he has become. He's never word one bad, that's not right. He's never said one bad word to me, never. Brandon is who he is. If you know Brandon now, that's how Brandon was when he was a child.
Why you think he was always so quiet?
With me, I think he was more so scared of me, as all my nieces and nephews were. he was just observative. He didn't get in trouble. He didn't do stuff like that. I can't explain any other way why he was so quiet. That's who Brandon was. Just sat back in the cut and didn't say anything.
He just always been quiet, stayed to himself. No, I never knew the reason why. He never opened up to me why. I wish I would know, but he, you know, sometimes he stayed to himself. But when, you know, my boys wanted to play, he played with them. The oldest one, he always bullied him. He called him Black Sock Bully. He called, which is Duke, the oldest son. He always say Duke was a bully, so he called Duke the Black Sock Bully. But he bred to laugh about everything. He was just quiet, but you know, when it was time to laugh and play, he did do that.
I remember one night, man, Brandon come get me from out, he picked me up from out the hood. We was out Huntersville. Man, I got like 25 8-ball pool shots in my pocket, man. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, man. Just getting around, we getting high. Brandon had a Jimmy truck. And we riding around, man. We hungry. We stopped at the IHOP on Virginia Beach Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
The joint's crowded, so we walk out there. I think it was that one. We was down at the beach, man. And man, we make it to North. People get behind us. I had bought this big ass with this girl named Sienna, man. Miss Gert's daughter, rest in peace, man. That day, man, she bought me like this biggest Gatorade that I had ever seen. Like, I had never seen a Gatorade bottle like this big, and she bought that shit from me. And I ain't drinking, but when Brandon came to get me, I bought it with me. And this ain't nothing but God, man. So we riding around, we made it back to the north of IHOP. Man, we pulling in the junk, the people pull us over. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm talking about the car smoked out. He tell me his fucking decal's bad. I could have punched him in his goddamn face. I'm like, I'm goddamn, I got like $7,000 in my pocket, work on me, and a fucking gun. Wanted a gun in the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a fucking gun. So, man, as they pulling us over, man, you know, I'm thinking fast. I'm stuffing this shit inside the fucking Gatorade bottle. I throw that bitch to the back of the truck. Throw the gun under the seat. They pull us out the car. At the time, they run my name. When they run my name, the narcotic niggas come. They take my money, find the gun. They wind up writing us a charge for wrote me the charge for the gun. And shit, man. And made Brandon go plant his weed in the garden. And, you know, that was like a close call, man. That shit would have, you know, that call there would have sent me away, man. You know what I mean? But that's like one of the realest stories I got of me and Brandon, man.
I was the partying type, but I made sure they were straight. I made sure of that. They ate what they wanted. They pretty much did what they wanted, but I didn't have to worry about them getting in any trouble because they knew they had the answer to me. That's the Brandon that has become a grown man. That's all I can tell you about Brandon. A good guy, laid back guy, sweet man. Love him with every fiber of my being. That's all I can tell you about Brandon. My Brandon. Goo. Goo. That's the name his mama gave him. Goo. And I picked up on that. That's all I can say. I can't say anything bad about him because I don't think he's ever been in trouble. If he has, I don't know nothing about it. But I can't say anything bad about this king right here because he showed me that whatever you want out here in life, you can accomplish it. And one other thing, it took him to move away from Virginia to accomplish his dreams.
I kind of associated Brandon with me because we're both September babies. And I always knew that Brandon would strive for greatness and would do a lot of things out here. He just needed the motivation. And I think he found the motivation when he found his wife.
My adult years, 18 and up, was spent pretty much like any other young adult trying to maneuver and find their way through life. At this time, I'm 22 years old. The year is 05. One Saturday night, me and my cousin Steve, we went out to the club this one night. We went to the Cave out Virginia Beach. And I see my other cousin in there, Mont. So after the club let out, we exchanged numbers. And he told me, he said the following week, they was going to a club called Infinities out Newport News. I never heard of. I mean, I never hung out Newport News or Hampton. I stayed on my side of the water. So I was like, all right. So the following week, he came to pick me up, and we went to Infinity Club. And the first time I went to Infinities, it was jumping. It was jumping. And I never went to the Cave again. Matter of fact, me and Steve, we went to Infinities a couple more times. And it was this one particular night I met my wife now. I met her in Infinities.
We actually met in the club. It was Club Infinities that me and my friend Cammie used to go to every weekend. It was every Saturday. Yeah, every Saturday we went to Infinities. And we were in the club. And I would always tell Cammie, I would always say something to Cammie about Brandon, but I never would say nothing to him.
So I want to give a shout out to my cousin Mont for telling me about Infinities.
Cammie went over to Brandon and brought him over to me. And I turned around and looked, and he was behind me, and we just started dancing. And we exchanged phone numbers. I don't know if we talked that night or not, but I know we exchanged phone numbers. And I think he might have called me like a couple of days later or something like that. But yeah, we met in the club in 05.
When we first met in November 05, we got to know each other a little bit. At the time, she was still married, and she had 3 kids. Her oldest, at the time, was 4 years old, and she had just had twins that had just turned 1 year old. And things happened fast between us, really fast. We grew close, and we had a crazy, crazy bond. So I met her November 05. By August 06, we was moving in together.
In the beginning, it was kind of all over the place. Like any relationship would, like we would have our arguments, we would, fuss or whatever, like any boyfriend and girlfriend would.
So years passed, we get married in 2010, but I remember when I first met her, when we were still getting to know each other, I told her that if she ride with me, because she expressed to me how, much she'd been through and, how much she done seen and how, being hurt and everything. But I told her if she ride with me, then I would show her something different. And still to this day, I'm still holding on to my word.
When we got married, it was kind of rocky the first couple of years. And then I would say maybe the 4th year of us being married, that's when we finally got together, because yesterday made 10 years of us being married. and we got married in 2010. May 19th, 2010. This is a story that always stick with me. I think it was the first time outside of the club, me and Brandon, was it the first time? It might have been the first or the second time. I can't actually remember if it was the first or the second time we met each other or started hanging out outside of the club. I was supposed to meet him at his grandma's house, and I couldn't find it. So, of course, Cammie was the person who took me over to where Brandon was, and we had parked on the side street. And he came walking down the street to where I was, and he got in the back seat, and I got in the back seat with him. And we were just laughing and talking. Me, him, and Cammie was laughing and talking. And I'll never forget, Brandon stuck his finger up my nose. And I was like, I don't know why he did it, but he stuck his finger up my nose. But that's one story out of all stories that I would never forget.
How would you explain him as a person, as a husband?
As a person, he's always been, everybody always said quiet, but I'm gonna say relaxed. Not a confrontational person. Of course, when we be fussing, I'd be fussing with myself because he wouldn't fuss back and forth with me. He'd just laugh at me like he always do and still do to this day. I don't know why I'm about to start crying, but as a husband, everything. I can't really say or narrow it down, but everything. Because if it wasn't for Brandon, I don't know where me and my kids would be. Because I went from sleeping on, other people's couch, living with my mom, living with Cammie, just back and forth, me and my kids, until I finally met Brandon. And it was just like, it was up from there. So he's done a lot for me and my kids, especially me, but more so the kids, because it was like they were everything to Brandon. So it's been a lot and it's been rocky, but we managed to make it. And like I said, if it wasn't for him, I don't know where me and my kids would be.
Times like this, I wish it would last forever.